And feel free, if you guys have anything to say, to go ahead and say it since recording this.
Wait,
I mean,
just,
I was going to
wait,
save all of my notes until we were done the episode.
Wait, am I just gonna smack this right before the main recording?
But no, we're going to start the recording now. I'm guessing like towards the end of the episode, and it's just going to lead into the end, and then we're going to talk.
Yeah, but if you have anything to say, anybody, feel free to.
I mean, it feels like an inopportune time because we're in the middle of the climax of the episode.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, why am I hitting recording now?
Okay.
I feel like that exchange was not exactly how it was in the games.
They
left
out.
Tess is being given she's given a much more of a blaze of glory as a way to go out. But the exchange between her and Joel, I mean, disregarding the games, just this on its own, the way it sets up and pays off, like her change in demeanor once she gets bitten, the way she becomes like increasingly fucking urgent, the way she's really latching onto the idea of Ellie as some kind of hope because she's realized that her fucking number is up. All of that seems pretty consistent with her. That exchange with I never asked you for anything, not to feel how I felt, not to shut the fuck up because I don't have time. Save who you can save, all of that stuff. I mean, it's very consistent with what her character was, as far as I can remember, and at least what she meant to Joel.
I guess what I'm confused on is, so the clicker is what got her, right?
Yes.
Presumably, yeah.
How the fuck did the clicker not rip her to goddamn shreds?
Well,
she killed it, clearly.
Well, we'll see.
You can kill it and still, like, all it takes is a bite, a scratch. Like, that's the thing.
That's what happened to Ellie. Like, what was it, like a fingernail caught her on the arm?
Yeah.
That's all it took.
That's fair.
Like, even if you don't get ripped to pieces, like, if they touch you, you're fucked.
I understand with like the infection part. It's just more the fact that I remember all those death animations. Those things fucking they're
pretty rough.
They don't just go yum. They fucking like,
you're using the death animations in the game to judge what happens in this show. Don't do that.
Well, there's an interesting conversation to be had there, but like I said, I mean,
we could talk about adaptation, but like we can talk about what you have to change for adaptation, and then we're talking about what you could or.
Yeah, that's
like the whole thing about not having gas masks. That's a whole separate thing.
That's a topic. That's a topic I wanted to save. But like I said, there's what I was spoiled on is coming up. Like, and I really want to know what you guys' feelings are on it, if it's raw or whatever.
All right.
So, okay.
Yeah, I'll keep it recording. In fact, hold on. I'll just throw on the copyright screen so there's context. Pull the pin on one of the grenades. What the fucking shit?
What the?
Not need a pizza? Dude, Neil Cuckman has some weird fucking voices. I want you to apologize for that fucking baloney you were just talking about how everything was up to par, and then that fucking happened. You take it all back, sir.
It was so unnecessary. You could that whatever the fuck it was, you cut that out. Everything else was working. You already had an infection vector. She was already fucked. She was already on her way out. Why?
Okay,
Why
in the
the
cascading
fuck?
of my brain shutting down, I have a few questions. First of all, was that somebody she recognized? Is that why there was that sort of pause or hesitation?
I think it was more just she's recognizing like this is her future, or it's like this is the end.
No,
this is the thing,
I think
blah, blah,
this is
blah,
her
blah.
recognizing I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
I don't.
No, I mean in
I don't-
retrospect,
I just,
it seems like that now. What the fuck?
I've been waiting all
I'm just-
fucking week for this, boys.
I'm just. I don't. I don't
But
want
they
to
were
watch this
doing
show.
so
I
well.
have no fucking words.
I just
for
don't.
this.
I just don't watch this anymore. I think I'm good. Actually, I think I'd rather just play the.
Welcome to yet another episode of Neil Cuckman's poorly disguised fetish.
What
So-
the fuck?
I unfortunately uncovered that spoiler from a article, and I couldn't believe my ears. So I looked it up, and yeah, when I saw that, that's when I very excitingly messaged you guys, going, "Hey boys, we should do Last of Us."
This is with the Lady Evil Dead.
But like that
This-
scene,
this
that
is
scene was
why
so fucking good. And
The entire
Why would you
pacing of
cap
the
it off with
episode was
that
doing
shit?
well, and then
Yeah.
suddenly this happens. This was this episode was so much
What the
beyond
fuck,
the
Neil?
first episode.
Oh, you don't remember that part in the game where the
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
infected-
when she holds off the fucking soldiers. Oh wait, sorry, the game handled it
So
better.
I mean-
whatever quick time event bullshit the clicker did have, they apparently gave to this motherfucker.
Unironically, there's a Callisto Protocol death that's kind of like that, but
That's-
it's
that's-
I mean,
That's
if
that's
you're
a
gonna
weird
make a
fetish.
horror
Like
thing,
that.
you get fucking French tongued by a big fungus man. That's a very horrifying body horror way to go, sure.
That's literally how
But-
a Gene Stealer cult happens. Like,
Like I said, just in this, it was so unnecessary. Like you just cut that like couple of seconds out. Like you just have it get really uncomfortably close to her.
I
and you
just don't
smash
know if
cut
I
here.
believe that's her
So much
character. Like
better.
she would hesitate that much. I mean, she literally had a fucking AK, bro. Like, what are you doing?
what?
Yeah.
If the
Why are you
lighter
letting it
doesn't
get that
work, make a
close?
spark by shooting some shit. Like you're
Shoot the
done.
grenades! You put
I-
grenades all over the fucking
I think
floor.
I think
Pull
you
a
heard-
pin.
I think you
Pull a
heard
pin.
me. I think you heard me when she was fiddling with the lighter. I was like, "Pull the pin on a grenade, please." Just
No, but no. How are we gonna have her pull a pin on the grenade if we can't see her make out with a fucking mushroom
we
person?
don't need to show that.
No,
Yeah.
we have
No,
to show that.
Cuckman felt it was important enough to keep in.
So,
I'm
welcome
docking
to
a whole point
This is gonna-
just for that shit.
I
Welcome,
I'm
boys.
punching him in the mouth.
welcome
fucking-
welcome boys to yet another response podcast where we are discussing the second episode
There's
and a little bit
fucking here.
a little bit of the first episode. But as I said before we recorded and before we started, I feel like more would have been said about the second episode.
You're not wrong, because
Well,
there's no
okay.
way this shit is getting a 5, bro. There's no fucking way.
Fucking call.
See, that's the thing. Is like even with that docking a whole fucking point on its own, I'm still at about like 5
No.
or 6 right now.
The implications, bro.
No.
This is a
Slur.
massive retcon.
Slur. There's a couple of bits I'm gonna get into it, so let's not throw out numbers just yet, because I do want to point some stuff out. Like I said, I took notes.
Why?
I've been
Why?
waiting for a
Why?
week
Why?
to say this.
Why have I?
Because
I could have watched Evil. I could have.
no.
I
How
mean,
dare you?
did Tess not deserve any level of dignity for her
No.
fucking going
Bro,
out?
I was so
No.
fucking like. I actually have a note right here that she's getting a bigger blaze of glory than she ever got in the games,
Yeah,
and
she
I
died
don't
off
hate that
screen.
for her.
She died
And
off-
I like her character
she
this
didn't.
episode. What the fuck?
She didn't die off screen. She died after making out with the fucking thing. We
no,
saw that
she
happen.
didn't.
Yeah, she
Neil
failed the
Druckmann
quick
says
time
no,
event
Wyatt.
and got fungus in her brain.
I was enjoying this. I had to stop myself from going. I know where this is going. This leads to that fucking room of that fucking golf club. I had to fight my fucking feelings, and that
No.
fucking happened.
You're still gonna get
So-
the zebra. You're still gonna get the golf club. It's coming, buddy.
It's
Yeah, I know
coming.
it's
But
fucking
here's the
coming.
but
Why
here's the
watch
thing.
this?
Ninja. So this was a point that I wanted to bring up, is that Neil Druckmann, as we all know, has a lot of rumors about his like weird fetishes, his weird like tendencies, and for all
Rumors.
we know, they could just be rumors. They could be. They
We're
could
in a
like him
dream
motion
world,
capturing
Zach.
him
I
motion
would say
capturing
between the
himself fucking
boat and
Abby.
between this, you're
Well,
starting to like.
well, here's the thing. This is what I was gonna bring up. Is that Neil Druckmann had Neil Druckmann had creative freedom of the first game. However, during the first game, a lot of input was done by a lot of the crew. Like that's
Well,
one
no,
thing that was talked.
there were
That's the
two other
thing.
writers.
Well, there's two other writers, but no, that was the thing. The first game was almost like a community project. Like everybody had input on everything. It was a really interesting way they decided to design the game. And fucking hell, Last of Us 1 is a cultural fucking like explosion. Like it is not fair to say that Last of Us obviously doesn't have the greatest story, but you cannot deny the cultural impact it has had on the media and pretty much everything else.
It
I
told a
would
simple
honestly say the
rather
story was
well.
the story was the best part. Like the
Yes.
gameplay was ass, but the story was good.
The gameplay was fine,
No,
actually,
it was
but
not.
It was a
No,
little
it
bit
was
below
not.
mid.
we could talk about that.
Well,
But
I'm gonna be playing it for Sarah. I'm not looking forward to playing it.
but here's the thing. Neil Druckmann had a lot of creative freedom. Now, I could be misremembering this, but I do remember hearing that in between Last of Us 1 and Last of Us 2, a lot of the Naughty Dog team either was fired or left the project of Last of Us 2. Now, we know what happened in Last of Us 2. I didn't really want to talk about it during our discussion of the show, but this fucking bludgeoned that with a goddamn hammer because it's like,
We made a golf club.
why did Neil do this?
Because he's a fucking weirdo, and he may as well hate the first fucking game. Why did everybody go silent?
Right on screen.
Oh, Discord
So-
crashed.
You gotta cut
If a
out
fucking
there.
professional golfer fucks a mushroom, man, I'm just done.
Discord crashed for like a split second. Could you please repeat what? Because I was raging in the background. I said because Neil Druckmann's a fucking weirdo. That's it. That's
But there's
No,
the
what I'm
thing.
saying
That's
is you
the
got
sum
the
of it.
boat and you got now you have this because
Yeah.
he has basically complete creative control over this as
Yeah,
well.
so Last of Us, so this TV show, like, once again, I'm not 100% sure if these are correct, but like I said, what I heard is a lot of the
Damn
creative
it.
team left before Last of Us 2. But now, Neil Druckmann having complete creative control over the show. This is now showing forth that these are his weird ideas that somehow got left on the cutting floor. But
I
now they're
don't-
coming to the fucking forefront because he doesn't have anybody to really give him conflict. He's surrounded by a bunch of yes men because he gave us
He's-
Last of Us 1.
he's
Okay,
worse than
there's
prequel era
actually-
Lucas. It's weird.
There-
All right, Sarah,
Hey,
go ahead,
we're
say what
just
you want to say.
talking.
Yeah, there's actually in the credits it says he has a partner. Or that the guy who
But it's-
actually adapted it for
Well,
television was
on.
Yeah,
Craig.
You know what that
Mason.
means, though, right?
But yeah, like here's the thing, River. That's not the
yes
that's
man.
yeah. But
No, it's not even that. Do you know what it means when it says somebody wrote it for the screen or whatever? It basically is just a glorified way of saying he's a screenwriter. That's it.
Oh, okay.
He has
Here's an-
experience writing a TV or movie script as opposed to writing like a novel or a game.
Mhm.
It's really nothing special. And basically, it just means Druckmann gets to put his ideas out there, and the guy gets to format them in the way they
Okay,
need
so
for the script.
it's more like a ghostwriter kind of.
Theoretically, he could be trying
I'll be
to
right
put
back.
his input in, but I highly doubt, in a project like this, where I don't know the exact details of what happened, but clearly between the success of Last of Us and the development of Last of Us 2, Druckmann basically took complete control.
Yeah. So Neil Druckmann is the guy who's always brought up because this is the guy who came up with
Yeah.
it. But there was another creator that was part of the first game, and his name is Bruce Straley. He was a major part of the first game. He was not there for the second game, and he's not here for the show. And he's not there for the remaster of the first game, which apparently changes shit too.
So
So
basically, it's like spot the common element here.
yes, like I said, it's very weird that like now that Neil doesn't have like anybody to go against him, he can throw his own shit in there. And this was the biggest example I can think of that could potentially make the rest of the show terrible because we're going to be seeing more of Neil's, for lack of a better term, fucking fetish.
It does not set up a good precedent. And here's the thing, like, even in this one episode, there's shit in this episode that has no basis in the game. Wasn't in the games at all.
Nope.
That entire intro shit in Indonesia, I actually really like that setup. It
Yeah,
answers
it
a lot
was-
of questions without really spoiling the mystery. They keep the actual origin mysterious, but they implant like an understanding of how it actually spread, like mechanically. It's
Yeah,
like, it
yeah.
skirts that line really neatly.
Yeah, me and Wyatt were messaging each other back and forth because we were kind of making fun of the idea that there's constantly fucking like more future shit or past shit, I should say.
Yeah, I made a joke saying like if there's gonna be a flashback every fucking episode, it's gonna be weird because it's like
it's gonna be weird. But honestly, that flashback was fine though. Like
I feel like it ties it
I liked it
together.
more than the first episode flashback.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, without
absolutely.
a doubt. Like
that's
it's
because the
fucking
first
phenomenal.
episode flashback went on for too long.
Well, no, this
It
one
was
also
terrible.
was shorter.
The one with
Well,
the talk show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're talking that one.
Big-
Okay.
Yeah, the brother
What
from
did
the
you
mummy.
think we were talking about?
I thought we were talking about the
You think
entire
about, like,
bit with
everything-
Sarah going to
everything with
school
Sarah
and shit.
Oh.
pre-game.
I mean, okay, this I think is also something I mentioned when we watched that episode, where just because it's different from the game, that's not a mark against it. And I think Wyatt, you more so are making that as the basis of why it's bad. I don't think that showing us what normal life was like before the zombie outbreak is a bad thing. I think it meandered a little bit. I think they could have had more like character shit, but then
that wasn't
So-
the
we know
problem.
that
It's
character
not an
dies, so they wouldn't have been
adaptation
able to
thing.
pay
It just
any
felt
of
like a
it
waste
off.
of time. Like
But was it though? Like I said,
Well,
if it's actually doing something like setting up exactly what was lost, the
I
life
don't
that you
set up,
had.
It
it set
did,
up
though.
Grandma's zombie. That's all it fucking did.
No, it didn't.
okay,
Wait,
hang
are you talking?
on,
Wait,
Hang
Alright,
on. So, okay. So the reason that I had such an issue with it, because I think me and Wyatt were kind of on the same page here, is that when you're looking at the adaptation, right? They basically added 20 minutes of extra bullshit from what the game showed us. Now, a lot of people are saying the reason they did it is to help build more sympathy or whatever for that emotional payoff with Sarah. And my thing is, you don't need that. Like, her dying in the game hits just as hard without spending all that time seeing what her day to day is like. All you need is what we get from the dialogue and the scenes between her and Joel in the game. So you added that extra 20 minutes, but you really didn't flesh anything out or add anything that was really all that meaningful. We still would have been sad seeing a 12-year-old girl get shot and killed.
As her dad fucking struggles.
Yeah,
to
like
manage-
Yeah,
that
yeah.
still would have been a very impactful scene
Yeah.
without that meandering 20 minutes and like her with the dog and her with the old people and her at school for like 5 minutes. Like, why? We didn't need to see all that shit. It added nothing. That's my issue, is that it felt like fluff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I have the same problem.
That is the criticism I would level at it. Not because that it's bad in and of itself, that it like absolutely detracts, more
No,
that it
you could have
fluffs it out
had-
but doesn't really add much.
Exactly. You could have had 20 minutes of something meaningful, in which case, great, more power to you. But that's why I'm saying, if you're going to change something when you're doing the adaptation, whatever you change, whatever you add, means something. Is it a positive or a negative?
So there's
This
also.
kissing the fucking mushroom man
Whoa,
was a
whoa,
negative.
whoa, hang on, we'll get there. But going
Yeah,
back to the
that's fucking
first,
creepy.
going back to it's beyond creepy, dude. But going back to the first one's thing, we also have to accommodate for people who haven't played the games and are unfamiliar with the story, and this is their first interaction with Last of Us, which unfortunately is a lot of people. Like,
Well, yeah, but that's not entirely true, because I've watched people do responses and just watching the cinematics of the game, and you still get that same level of impact because
no,
the insert of the game is mostly cinematic.
yeah, but Ninja, I'm talking about like the grand normie like army. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody is going to be looking at cinematics. Not everybody's going to be playing the game. Which
understand
this
that. What
this
I'm
was.
saying is
Hang on.
felt
Let me
exactly
fucking
right.
finish my point. Let me finish my point.
No,
Like, fuck you. But the idea is like that. This was the main reason I did want to cover Last of Us as a total, is because this was a lot of people's first interaction with the game's story, because they never play the game. They don't ever play video games. So this was like a good way for video games to kind of be taken seriously by literally everybody
it's
else.
worse.
But And like the idea of having that bit with Sarah for the extra bit was kind of like I said, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like it was what's the word? What does Ryan Johnson say?
Subverting
Fucking
expectations.
like subverting expectations. The idea that we're going to be setting up the daughter, yet for her to just be snatched away because she's not actually part of the story. Like I feel like that's just to subvert the
Eh,
expectations of normies. We
okay,
all know
if
that
you're gonna
Sarah's
go off
destined
of
to die.
normies, I would actually go a different tack. Okay,
Okay.
imagine you're someone you've watched a little bit of The Walking Dead and maybe a couple of zombie movies, and that's it.
Hmm.
So you come into this show, and episode one, you have like normal ass, plain sort of early 2000s America.
Hmm.
And then in that background, because this is one thing that it actually did in a month fluff, was it had like little things that were a little bit off. You know, the news reports in the background, everybody's a little bit weird and tense, and nothing's quite right, but you, the POV character, don't really know what's going on, and just kind of intensifies and then explodes, and oh no, zombie plague.
Yeah,
If
I
you're
thought
gonna give like the normie the very familiar, comfy intro to this story by setting it up like so many other zombie things, that is, if I was gonna make the normie argument, that's kind of the tack I would go.
Okay,
But
fair
even
enough.
then, we double back to where Ninja was, where like you don't need it if
Yeah.
you have confidence in The Last of Us as a story, which you should, because that's why you're adapting it in the fucking first place. You
Yeah.
don't need to have that padding. Normies, you can trust that they will be able to get into it the same way everyone else did.
Yeah. And like I said, Ninja, I wasn't 100% disagreeing with you, but I was just kind of playing devil's advocate for like the story itself, for like the story runners for it. But like,
it.
Don't
I
you
don't.
defend Cuckman and his
Well,
fetishes.
here's the
Yeah, this
thing.
is
That
fucking
was
weird.
that was last week's Max, because last week's Max was really into the idea of this show being good. But
Or so was I
Monday,
until like 5 minutes ago. What the fuck?
Monday morning, Max was different. like,
I just don't.
Here's
I
the
don't
thing:
want to
is
watch
this
the
going to be the
show.
part now where we get like 90% of a good episode, and then just from weird fucking Druckmanism in the
well,
middle of it, just
well, the
without
worry
warning?
is, is that like it's not going to be 5%. It's going to be more and
Are
more.
are we gonna have to?
That's what I'm worried about.
Are we gonna have to worry about Bill trying to rape Joel or something?
Fucking, we don't know. We don't know. We have no idea because it seems like such a slight change, but like it does so much for like the implications of how the story is gonna go.
I mean, we said that about like the soldier.
No, but
So
no, the soldier is a very minor thing, dog. Her making out with a zombie is not fucking the same. It is
Yeah, this
by
is
That's
far
fair.
a massive change.
yeah, it's a massive fucking retcon to the
And
lore, to the
why
world
aren't
building.
why aren't any of the fucking zombies trying to make out with Ellie? This is another weird thing that it fucking puts up forward because she is
Oh
also
yeah.
infected. So why aren't they fucking with her? Like I'm saying. So I'm really fucking worried that that's gonna come up later.
Are we supposed to derive from context that that thing smelled she was bitten? I was like, oh, you're going to be a fungus person. Here,
L-
let me give you a head start by filling you with fungus.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
What the
know.
fuck is the logic there?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
that might tie into the spoiler that I heard. Maybe
All right, so
we
Ninja, can you please go into the spoil that you heard?
okay. Well, now that I've seen your spoiler, I'm starting to wonder if they're actually more linked than we thought. So the
Okay.
spoiler that
No.
I got, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read the article. This was literally the fucking headline.
Mm.
Instead of spores, like they've basically completely ex-nayed spores, which is why they don't have the gas masks. Instead of spores, it's tendrils. And I'm wondering if that was their way of like, that's
Oh.
the way they transfer shit.
But they didn't need tendrils.
Oh.
But the fucking intro of this episode, one of the things it does really well is establish how the bite works. Because they, like, she had the area on the leg, and she cut open the bite, and you can actually see underneath the skin where it was bitten. That's where like the fungus, it grows under the skin and takes over the body. It's like, it was really cool. They didn't need this at all. You
So
cut it
like,
out, everything makes
So-
But
more
Slur,
sense, and
so
the
is
episode's
this-
better.
but Slur, tentacles are from hentai, and
So
people like
so what?
hentai.
Hold on. So Ninja, what you're telling me is that this is gonna be the ruins, but fucking worse.
Pretty
yeah,
much.
like this is a very, because like it
'Cause-
also goes into the weird change of like how the like zombies are in general. is that like they're now a hive mind. That is another change that makes
Mm.
no
But
sense.
even that, I thought was actually like the way the fungus. It's not just in the people; you can actually see it in the environment. It grows in the buildings, it grows
Yeah,
underground, and it's
but
all
you could,
connected. Like the way they
but you
did
could,
that as a replacement for spores, or just a new way for the whole thing to work. I
but
thought they were
no,
establishing it
but like,
kind of well. They
yeah,
don't need tentacle mouths.
well, here's the thing, Slur. But the problem is that the addition to the game, addition to this from the game, is that now all of the zombies are now connected by via a hive mind, which, like, is unnecessary. And like you said, like you like how seeing how it's like part of the environment. That's how it was in the game.
Yeah.
They didn't need like, oh, if you touch one cordyceps, all cordyceps everywhere are alerted. It's like, why did you add
Or at
that?
least everything within like that
It
That
doesn't like
fucking
it.
that endospore, that colony of the
Yeah,
fungus.
but like that wasn't needed. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, why is that there? Because like all that does is so obviously going from video game mechanics. The game does a really good job of limiting your resources and making even small encounters with like upwards of 4, like even just maximum of 4 infected is a very dangerous um thing. But now we've almost removed the ability to kind of deal with like small mobs or small pods of enemies because everything in like a mile radius is fucking connected.
Only if
Yeah.
they hold on. The way it worked, and we're just giving it the benefit of the doubt so far that it's going to be consistent with the way it's shown so far. The way it worked in this episode, he shot one, but because it was connected, it had its fucking USB tendrils hooked up to the ground. It was able to like send out that death signal. Everything else within that colony of the fungus was like, oh shit, there's something there. I'm gonna send my spore people out and fucking grab it.
How is
Whereas
that?
if you're in a building and you're a couple floors up, maybe if it's like right next to a patch of the fungus on the wall, and that patch of fungus is alive and not bone dry, as Joel was very prudent in testing before they went to the museum. Like they
Yeah,
have
but
a way to make this work if they want to be clever and consistent about it.
well, the
But
thing is, like, we learned about the
mm,
fact that they're a hive mind, and then seconds later, Joel steps on a fucking like cordyceps. Oh, don't worry, it's dry. It's like, bitch, what?
Yeah,
but
Like
that
Well,
was.
you
that
know,
he
was
was inspecting it way before he actually did that.
he's
Like he was
inspecting
looking
it.
at it,
looked
he was
down
kind of
at it
prodding it a
and
little
then
bit,
stuck
and
to it.
then he fucking smashed it just to be like very, very
Oh,
sure.
it's a good thing. Then it's a good thing that fucking last step wasn't a goddamn fucking part that would have fucked him over. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's a
it's a.
very strange thing to
But
fucking do if
even
your
if
whole
it
thing is
was,
survival.
he was quite sure it was dry. Then he made absolutely sure before going into the building. I
Yeah, he
would
made
actually argue
absolute,
that's more prudent.
but he made absolutely sure by stepping on the fucking cordyceps and then turning around
After
saying, "Don't
he
worry, it's dry."
inspected it normally.
Well,
Like,
yeah, he
okay,
inspected
let's
it
say I'm
normally.
Joel, right? We're about to go into the building, right? If the fungus, if I'm like suspicious that the main colony of fungus is alive, I'm not going in the building. It's a fucking death trap. Absolutely. So I'm gonna look at the fucking tendrils and shit that grow outside. I go up, looks pretty dry. I fucking crouch down. I give it a little touch with my hand, like I'm pushing a little bit. Okay, feels dry, feels real dry. I press a little bit, and then like I press a little more, and then finally, just to be absolutely certain, I kind of crush a little bit of it towards the end. Like, okay, yeah, no, dry, we're good.
Right.
Like
I s
we actually did see him do a full fucking. He
There
he
Yes.
was
didn't
a
just walk up to a
progression.
random piece of tendril, fucking
Yeah, but
stomp on
like
it and said, "No, we
I
good, fam."
I agree that there is a progression, but I still think it's insanely reckless to do what he did.
It would be
how
Like,
more
else would
reckless
you? How would
not
you?
to, I would say.
Yeah, how else would you test it?
well, like I don't know.
You
It just
have
feels
to inspect the entire thing because if it's only dry on the outside and you go in there, you're still gonna fucking die.
pull out a knife instead of smashing it with the butt of your rifle to like slowly cut at it
Same
It's
instead
ultimate
of.
basically the
effect.
same.
It's the
Yeah.
same, but it's the same ultimate effect. But like I said, it seems like I feel like my way with the knife is a lot
One's
more
a
subtle than
dissection.
stepping on the fucking thing.
Well, hold
Like
on. Subtly in what way? Because from the fungus's perspective, if it's alive, it's just
God,
gonna notice
it's
that one of its tendrils has been damaged.
God,
Whether it's by a knife or
we're
the
trying
butt
to
of a
do.
gun makes absolutely no difference. He
God,
could have done it with his fucking head.
Why do
I
the
just realized
tendrils
we're still
go
talking
dry?
like we're talking about the tendrils as if it's a fucking character now. Like that's a thing. That's what these
But
fucking
hold on.
tendrils. That's what these
We know
tendrils
they
have
have a
done.
fucking sex drive
So-
now, so it might be.
Mm.
Yeah, and they're all
Please
hive mind. So
don't.
when he kissed it, they all it's
Please.
like Naruto. They all experienced the kiss.
Oh my
Was
god.
this sex
think
He got
position?
cucked by the mushrooms.
This is
Got drugged.
I hate this. This is so fucking gross.
So,
So
can
bad.
I bring up an issue that I had?
Good.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Okay, so when they first encountered the clickers, does anyone remember how it went in the game?
What do you mean?
Vaguely.
I do,
So-
but I'm wondering where you're going with this.
So one of the things that they do with your first, big interaction with clickers is it teaches you about stealth takedowns, which also allows Joel to kind of educate Ellie in like there is a way to handle this because a lot of their relationship is built on the fact that he's teaching her.
Yeah.
Like they learn, she learns from him and that's how she gets to the point where she can survive on her own.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a nice little bonding moment that he shows her here's how you can stealthily kill a clicker without alerting all of the other clickers in the area.
Yeah, that's how we learned
And
about
they basically
shivs.
were like, no guns.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh fuck.
Yeah, that
yeah.
Which
yeah,
is
that
like
means
doubled
that-
down with the whole fucking like linking together as a hive mind.
Uh-huh.
Like it's such a weird fucking choice that doesn't.
It makes
Sorry,
no
it's so
fucking
dumb.
sense.
It's so fucking stupid.
So hold on. If
Right?
one clicker hears you in one room, does it have to go and like connect to the main fungus to
What do you-
tell the other clickers?
Well, no,
where you
it has
are?
to kiss the
that-
mushroom colony on the wall, and then
Yeah.
they, like,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
you ever seen Avatar, that the Blue People movie? He has to take like his cordyceps
Oh
like ponytail
no!
and
So
tie
they
it to
pull
the
down
fucking,
their
like,
trousers
the
and they got
main-
a
Oh,
big
is
fucking
Steve
weird
Lang gonna
tendril
be in
dick.
episode 3?
Well, they were told not to play with it, otherwise they go blind. And look, all the clickers are blind. So hey, there you go.
Oh,
Steve
fuck.
Lang's gonna be the bad guy. He's gonna be reincarnated as a
Cor-
mushroom.
It's gonna be a
Courage.
fucking floater.
Okay, imagine they
Courage the
get up to the
mushroom
point
person.
where like Last of Us 2 begins story-wise, but they just fucking abandon these characters. We never look at them again. Their story just happens in the background. We're just gonna look at
Oh
fucking
no!
Chip Hazard from now
Fuck
on.
that! Chip Hazard plays Abby.
You know what? You know
Well, I
what?
mean, it's a
Please.
fair casting.
I mean, please, like, fuck it. Like, fucking Steve Lang just comes in, just buff as all fucking shit. It's
Just like Buff with
Abby-
a ponytail, you know?
like
just-
Abby, I need you to take care of this. No problem.
He's got his fucking pythons out. You know?
Outstanding.
You don't. Wait, stupid old man.
Yeah, just full on accent. Doesn't try to hide it at all. It's great.
I think I want. I'd
Jill with
rather.
the golf club.
I think I'd rather. I think I'd rather watch. I think I'd rather watch that than ever experience like the original Last of Us 2 story ever
Yeah.
again.
Well, I mean, I don't know, dude. The fucking first one's getting tainted with all this bullshit.
It really is, man. It's
Here's
a
the thing.
massive retcon.
So what I was
Yeah.
talking about earlier with the normie consumption of this fucking show, now the normies are like, wow, in this fucking video game, there's a bunch of fucking mushroom people who make out with the fucking normal people. That's weird. I'm glad these video games are so fucking weird and like are just gotten disgusting.
It makes people very dismissive of the story. It's like, oh, why are you people so invested in this? It's fucking ridiculous.
Exactly.
Well, like I said, if you're gonna have this thing where the zombies in your IP fucking spread by just grabbing you and like body horror style just invading you through the face, that's a fucking horrific concept, and you could make it work. But it's when
Yeah,
you
it's
kind of
called
plaster it
Alien.
onto something else that really didn't need it.
I'll do you one
It
better,
already had a
Tanner.
perfectly good mechanism.
How Gary died in the thing. Remember the doctor straight shoved his hand into his mouth.
Yeah. Sarah, you wanted to say something?
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, I am definitely the closest to Normie that we have here, given that I experienced Last of Us 2 first, and I
no.
haven't
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I haven't seen all of Last of Us 1. I like the events of the first episode are what I remember from the first game, and that's it.
I mean,
So
if,
all
if
of this
you can like ignore why it's whining about the controls and stuff as he plays the game, the story is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna, no,
yeah,
that's
that's
what's
what
gonna
I've heard.
happen.
Play on
I'm
easy,
gonna be
fuck.
So
yeah,
I
can
have
play on easy. That's not the problem here. It's still gonna control like ass.
I have really high hopes for this. And yeah, there's some the making out thing was really weird and really creepy, but thus far, I've been pretty impressed with the show. But then I don't know the original as well as you guys do.
And
I
that's
mean,
fair.
everything up to that point was actually pretty impressive to me. I was actually liking it a lot. That's why I'm so annoyed.
The thing is, this was a really good adaptation for the second episode up to that point. Like, I would have been really happy if we cut from the Walker going up to her, and then cut to this and be done with the scene. That would
Yeah.
have been so much better send off than the game actually gave Tess. It would have
Yeah.
been more respectful to the character, honestly.
Yeah,
Honestly,
because
her dialogue is actually better here than it is in the game. Because in the game, she's a really stuck-up bitch about it. Like, if
Well,
you
not
remember what
just that,
she's,
it's acting as well. Like,
yeah,
just facial expressions, like, she can get across a lot more subtlety in real life than you can obviously do with a
and
video game character.
and then
It's
let's
really good.
also not forget that in the first game, like she just died off screen. We leave her, we go through a few rooms, we hear some gunshots, and then we see over a balcony her dead as Fedra walks over her corpse, essentially.
and then the funniest thing is you wind up killing all those Fedra guys. But no, the like, what was I gonna say? Like, her dialogue in the game is this weird thing where she like tells Joel that like there's something in between them, that he feels some obligation that he needs to finish the fucking mission, and it's like this weird like, that was a really bitchy thing to say, and it kind of came out of
Again,
nowhere.
I
Like,
don't
it
remember
was
exact wording, but I do know the way that interaction goes down in this episode was actually really good.
yeah. It's better here than it is in the game, because like I said, the game ends with this really weird note, but then she doesn't make out with a mushroom, so who knows?
It
Yeah,
All
I
right, do
think
we
was
what
like the
game
do
wins
best
we
is
scene in the
uh
episode.
do we
You
want
don't
Yeah, the
to
mushroom
actually
thing.
know that because it was off screen.
do
Yeah,
we
she
want
made it.
to
Well, yeah, the Fedra agent like decided, he's like, by the way, I'm a
True.
mushroom person.
yeah,
Blah, 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 blah.
okay, do we want to finish watching this and then we can actually
Yeah, fine.
switch to
Alright, let's
switch to
go.
normal format?
Well, yeah, but I really wanted that
Because
raw reaction. I've
because we've been
waiting for it
recording
a
for
while.
36 minutes and it's like, wait a minute, we're still
that's what I'm
I
boxing.
was
saying.
very curious slash fucking worried. It's like, okay, Max is being really insistent that it's
Yeah, it's
confusing
weird.
because we're
It's
like at
really
the
weird. Yeah,
climax
like,
of the episode. It's like, wait, okay, I
yeah.
guess
And I
it's gonna be
expected to put.
fucking silence for a few minutes, and then the episode will end, and then we'll talk. It's like, sure,
I need a
bruh.
refund on what I was expecting from Max.
But that's the thing. Is like, I was like, I can't say anything. I literally can't say anything because there's nothing I could say that could prepare you people. I just need your raw reaction.
Max,
And
you now
I
need to
got it.
go
Told us
on a
exactly what would have happened, and we'd have been like, "No fucking way."
Max,
Yeah.
like next time you're on a date, you need to just go like, hold on, I'm a mushroom person.
No, next time, like, hang on a second. I have to start recording before I say something really cringe.
Hey,
Give me a minute.
babe, you want to
All right,
do it mushroom
now.
style? You just stand in front of her, stick out your tongue all the way, and slowly move towards her face.
So, hey, baby. My favorite creature from Minecraft is the creeper.
No, you just go, hey, I heard you like The Last of Us. You're,
Hey,
you're into
baby,
that
you
you're into
ever
that
played a
test
game called
roleplay,
Resident
huh?
Evil?
Oh no, she's a lefty.
No, it's that. Oh, I heard you're into test roleplay. Oh, God.
Jesus. All right, enough of that. All right, let's finish it off because I
All
actually
right,
have
let's
no
go.
idea what's happening next.
All right, let me mute the sound for the recording. Cause fuck it, I may as well keep this
I mean,
one
we
solid
should be
file.
fine from now till we run out the clock, right? We've only got a few minutes left. It should be
I don't
good.
believe you, Slur.
Well, like I said, this ending of this episode sparked a lot of controversy for some reason.
Gee, I wonder fucking why.
Those are some weird wear patterns on that gun.
Do you think he knew his off and on again girlfriend got made out with by a mushroom person before she died?
I hope he didn't.
But here's the thing: if that's consistent way with how they work, and he's as experienced as he is, he absolutely does.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right,
Implications, baby.
The
Okay,
cordyceps
that was
warned him.
it.
Wow,
That was
thanks,
it.
Max.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I'm
I didn't realize that was like legit the end. Wow.
odd moment. And even just her not being as used to losing people as he is, even though he was way fucking closer to her, that's also like a nice little fucking touch. But it's all undercut by a moment of profound fucking weirdness.
It's
Yeah,
because
here's the thing:
I
is like I
hate
had
you, Neil
topics.
Druckmann.
It's like I had topics of like what the comparisons to the video game as of comparisons to like the interactions in the show, and like of course like acting things. But like I said, the weirdest thing was this scene, and I was spoiled on it, and like I had to bite the fuck out of my tongue because I needed y'all to
You
understand
gonna
like this
you
was a
gonna
weird
punch that
thing.
person?
No, it was just a fucking. It was honestly, you
Uh,
know what it was? Do any of you guys get Google notifications for news?
yes, and I tried my best
No,
to
Oh my
ignore
I
gosh, you
them.
have
turned them
spoiled me
off.
so many times.
Yeah, so that's
Just
actually
turn
where I
them
got.
off. What the fuck?
We
That's well,
can't.
but
I'm
well, I
pretty
mean,
sure they
like
can't
Yes, you
turn it
can.
off.
you can, but like sometimes you get like interesting things. Like I fucking following this whole like Microsoft and Sony thing with Activision Blizzard's thing. Apparently, Microsoft subpoenaed the CEO of Sony to show up in
Oh yeah,
court.
and Blizzard shut all their shit down in China, and then
Basically,
China
So
immediately started fucking ragging on them.
yeah. So like I said, some of them is really interesting, but then I saw that and it's like, here's how the changes to Tessa's death go. I was like, well, what do we got here, boys? And I clicked on the fucking article, and then I read that it's. So here's the thing that I read. I think it was Neil Druckmann. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But what I remember is that somebody in the production said that the infected aren't all violent. Sometimes they
oh,
can
shut
appreciate. They
up.
can show up with love. You know what? I'm gonna fucking find the article.
Find the
I will find
article.
it. I will
Meanwhile,
literally find the fucking article, and I want
I
somebody else to read it so you can understand how
I'll
fucking
fucking
stupid
read
this
it.
is.
Send it to me. I'll put it on screen too. I'll do fucking everything. I'm so fucking mad right now. I wanted to avoid this show. I avoided spoilers because I was like, all right, we're covering this. Not gonna like I'm not gonna let Twitter try to spoil the fuck out of me because
You know,
I constantly saw like a clip from somebody that was like, oh, comparisons, spoilers, and I immediately was just like fucking scroll.
you know, I could have been playing stock or Shadow of Chernobyl this entire time.
You could
I
have
could
all
have
been
been
reading
playing
a book right now.
Yeah, but
Astroneer.
would you have been able to make out with the infected?
Yeah, what the hell?
I could
Oh,
have
although I do have to say thank you, Slur, for my new profile picture.
I could
Oh
have
yeah,
been
it looks
fucking
fucking glorious.
Yeah, Slur's a fucking artist. In case you guys didn't know.
Yeah.
I could have been painting my Sicarian battle tank. Fuck me.
I have not changed my profile picture in 6 years.
I'm curious. I feel bad because you said you wouldn't be able to get that picture back. What did it say?
Oh, it said, "Did you hear? Tanner likes dead memes,"
Yeah,
and it's the slowpoke meme.
That was fucking.
I will make
That's
that meme. I can make that meme for
Oh,
you,
I
dog.
literally made it. I've got it somewhere. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
okay.
But nah. The one profile picture I won't change is my Steam profile picture because it's a meme my dad sent me on like 4 phones ago, and I made it my profile picture on Steam 10 plus years ago, and I can't get that one back.
in case I don't even know how you'd be doing this. In case you're somehow just now listening this. Yeah, we finished Last of Us. I don't know how you
We finished
fucking
the second
got
episode
here.
of Last of Us.
Yeah, I don't want to be here. I really.
Intros.
Yeah, 45 minutes in. Yeah, we're.
I
Like
mean,
I was,
Max did a bit of an intro there once after
after
I
you
gave
guys
my very
all,
subtle.
after you all fucking like gave
Oh,
a good
Treaton, I think I
disgusting
just found the
outburst.
meme.
Oh, there you go. But like after you guys all gave a really disgusting
Can I-
thing, I made sure to like throw that in there because it's like, yeah, I wanted
With
everybody's
you
raw reaction.
cackling.
It was
Yeah,
before.
'cause
No,
it
it
was
was
great.
before.
It
You just
it
told
was
me to pause
everything
and
that
hit
I hoped for,
record.
Tanner.
No, you
That's
fucking.
fine.
You set this
Nice,
up.
sir.
No
It happened.
worries.
You paused. It's like, hey, could you hit
I l-
record? And it's just like, motherfucker.
and it's like like when Ninja was like, "Oh, I heard a spoiler," and I was like, "Oh, is it the test thing?" And he's like, no." And I literally told Ninja, "Stop looking into spoiler," because I didn't want to
I
ruin this. I didn't want to ruin
so
this.
Max, I do need you to know, my job pays me $17 an hour. I'm going to need that in compensation for my
All right.
time.
I will throw you $17.
Buy
Let's
him
see.
Astroneer.
I'm still trying to find this one, but I found like a Men's Health article about it. Like what the fuck? Like I'm like it's so
Now let
funny.
me, while you're
How many
searching, let me
articles are
read
there?
that one as well. Like while you're
Hang on.
searching, fuck it.
No, but I really want the fucking interview thing where it's like it could be
But I
love.
really want to see what Men's Health has to say about The Last of Us.
This is unhealthy, and this guy's fucking fetish is being shown off on the whole screen. What the fuck?
It's just going like, please
Oh.
stay. It's just a picture of Neil Druckmann, like a wanted poster, and it just says "Stay away at all cost." Run, only fight if cornered.
Let's see. I'm trying to find it, dude. I really want that because like I didn't read it like the quote all the way because I was just so baffled about what the fuck I was reading. And it's like, ah, man.
Slur, have you seen? Actually, I'm not even gonna ask if you've seen it. I'm just gonna take a picture of this thing somebody.
I
gave
don't
me.
like that one, Slur. Take it back.
Oh, you fucker!
Take it back.
It's so good.
I assume
So yeah,
this is
the
actually visible to anybody who would ever actually watch the recording of this shit. But yeah, we're just posting Last of Us memes in the chat.
So here you go.
oh
It's
wow. So Ninja, remember you were saying that Tess was gonna be sticking around for 5 episodes on IMDb? Apparently that was a troll from the creators. So despite her send off, that is actually kind of a clever thing to do.
I mean, they might still have flashbacks with him, like looking back.
She
in
might be
time,
involved
like-
in the episode, but not like be part of the main story.
Maybe.
Because voice lines have to be declared as parts as well.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, that's a very specific possessed marine. Nice.
No, that's a literal Kincaridon.
Oh, right, you're carried on.
That was just given to me at the store.
What the fuck? It's marked as a spoiler? What?
I did that on purpose. You could just mark pictures with spoilers.
Oh, that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, I did that when posting a picture of my dog once because her name is Noodle. And so sometimes I call her nudes.
I can drink now.
Good shit. God, I really want to find that exact same
You
article.
have made me regret my decision to be sober for the last 3 years. Actually,
well,
4.
to be fair, it wasn't my fault. It was Neil Druckmann.
I can blame you,
The episode was doing so well
Tanner's
right
just
up
looking
until
at
that moment.
Tanner's just looking at a sobriety chip and just like, this looks real fragile right now.
It was all good until it wasn't, and boy,
Like, I'm just looking
was it
through
not.
like because I did my usual thing where as I'm watching, I've just got like a little thing of post-its and I just scribble things down as I go through the episode. A lot of them are just like they're about character interaction shit. Like one of the first ones I wrote down is like a lot of the best scenes and moments are the moments where it's one to one what happens in the game. This is consistent with what we saw in the first episode where some of the most engaging parts where it literally just was beat for beat, dialogue line to
Almost
dialogue
like they
line.
should have just
Exactly.
adapted it 1-to-1.
Yeah. And stuck to it as much as possible. And when they do, it really works. Like that moment when Joel and Ellie are looking out over the fucking
That wasn't
the
half bad.
overgrown ruinscape. And yeah, you can't deny that view. Like that whole interaction, at least from what I remember, it's pretty much 1-to-1. It hits the same.
Pretty close.
I
It
kind
is
of
like almost like it is actually almost line for line that
I
she
liked
says that.
the
Don't deny that view.
I liked the bit in the hotel lobby.
I didn't because okay. So Last of Us is a like stealth game, right? Like you're kind of like forced to like it's a stealth survival horror game where you're forced to use your resources in like any interaction, and you don't know what's around every corner. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So the idea that they're just like, look at I would be in the hotel. It's like this is
she was a little
strange.
bit like that, but
okay, like she wasn't.
I do
stopped.
like that scene for other reasons.
She wasn't stopped though. Like somebody should have been like, "Why the fuck are you doing? Shut the fuck up."
But she wasn't stopped when all she was doing was running up to the counter and basically speaking at
smacking
a
the
regular
bell,
fucking vocal
yelling
voice.
out, like, dude, she hit the fucking bell, dog. Like, what the fuck? We're dealing with fucking enemies that can like
They
hear
had an
really
open
well.
conversation. If there wasn't gonna be anything
Yeah.
before that, there wasn't gonna be anything then.
They didn't
It was
start being
it was
quiet
a
until they saw someone who had been mauled to death. Because
mhm.
that was
Yeah.
the thing that tipped them off that there were clickers. Other than that, just regular ass infected, as long as they're far enough away, they felt they were safe enough
Well,
to at
wasn't
least speak
that a
at normal
separate
volume.
building?
So what?
'Cause they didn't encounter the dead clicker guy until they went to the museum,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not the
And it
hotel.
was only when they saw how his body had been mauled, that was moment one. Once they see that, they both got real quiet real quick. And they actually set that up earlier as well when, Ellie's talking about all, like, the stories she heard back in the QZ, where she's like, "Oh, so there really isn't, like, super infected that fucking shoots spores at you?" And it's like, "Nah, nah, I fucking hope not, Jesus." "Oh, so there's, like, no things that, like, can see in the dark like bats?" And fucking Tess and Joel both just
Yeah,
get
they like
real quiet.
they exchange a glance, and it's like,
Yeah. It's like, they know what's up, but they like, "We don't need to fucking scare the kid, like, let's." I mean,
well, but
when's the
like,
last time you even saw a clicker? Am I right? It'll be fine. Unless they have reason to suspect that they are close by, it's not a thing that they assume is around. Unlike regular infected, which
I don't know,
they
I
saw
still
where they
feel like it
were.
would be worth telling her though, like, "Hey, just in case it happens, like, be prepared," that kind of thing, but
Maybe, but at that point, they're not really attached enough to her to, like, sit down. Okay, here's like a full fucking course of all of the things we might encounter between here and later today when we're planning to never see you again. They just want to get there, get it dropped off, get the payment, and fuck off. Like, at that point
I
in the
wish I
The
episode,
could
they are
sec
too.
both very much in that mentality. It's
the
only after
same.
she's bitten
hey,
that
if
Tess
you want, you
switches.
can fuck off.
Okay.
I'm just
oh,
saying, it's no one's stopping you if you don't want to be here.
The pain, collective trauma.
Oh no,
I
I get it, man. We've had to tap out before with even worse shows. I know that's hard to imagine, but there are worse shows than this. And that maybe that's the most frustrating thing. Like, as harsh as I was on the first episode, giving it a 5 out of 10, like, this episode was, up until that point, leaps and bounds better. It's
I'd
just,
say up until that point, that is why it's so frustrating. It was probably a
yeah,
solid 7 or an 8,
Dude, no,
honestly.
the
easily,
second I heard that
easily.
clicking, I immediately shut I stopped
I
breathing. I
started
was just
holding my
like,
I
breath.
mean, I
yeah,
yeah,
had issues
it's
with
a
that
very
scene
unsettling noise.
because of the way it played out, but I mean,
yeah,
overall,
how
it
it played
was a
out
really
was
good adaptation,
Hmm.
and I can understand why they made some of the changes they made. Sure, fine, but that fucking kiss thing, man, like, that's more than a 1 point knockoff for me. Like, that really tanks the whole episode just because the implications that means for the rest of the show, for the lore, for the world building, all of it is like, why?
it's also
Why
just
would you do
weird.
that? It's
It's just
really fucking weird and unnecessary. Like,
like if
there
we
was
were all in
no
the
need to
writing
add that.
if we were all in the writing room and Neil Druckmann went and then the zombie just shoves its fucking tendrils in Tessa's mouth, we'd be like, "What the fuck?
No,
Get
Neil,
out of
you're not
here."
allowed to do that.
Neil,
Well,
like
Yeah,
there
Modern
are
time media.
ways to do that in horror that absolutely work.
yeah.
Hmm.
But you don't need that here. It's not fulfilling a purpose. Like, these things have been shown, even if you take the game out of the equation and you just go with what they've told us so far in the show. Nothing they have told us in the show indicates that this would be a thing. Like
yeah.
Slur said, even the little intro sequence in Jakarta, like, everything said bite, hyper violent, like, super aggressive. They even literally said rip you apart.
Yeah, they
Like,
set
none
it
of
all
that
up so
says
And
well.
he's gonna French kiss you and put spores
not
in your brain.
not to mention in I really liked how during the Indonesian section, just because you ripped the little tendril bit out of its mouth, I think it was still moving. So it's like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah,
there's a
and that shows
there's
you,
a
like, even
sh-
though the person is dead, it's the fungus inside them that's
Yeah.
still alive that's making them move because it hijacks their nervous system.
yeah,
Like,
And
but
that
if
it does a good job of establishing, A, what we already kind of knew from the games, and B, just mechanically how the infection works without spoiling the mystery. All of it.
There,
All of
there,
it. It works so well.
there is a bit of weirdness to that though, because like the implication is that the cordyceps are still alive, so that means the cordyceps can still manipulate the body.
Well, yeah, that's how it works. That's how they're
But
Yeah,
zombies.
that's
That's why
literally how it
shooting
works.
them doesn't kill them because their organs are irrelevant.
I guess it's a video game thing. That's like, yeah, when you fucking shoot it, it stays down. Like it can't like fucking.
But
Well,
eventually, if you disrupt its
it can't
function
dial
enough,
911 and call the rest of the fucking squad. But I mean, I guess in the show, I guess I have to turn my brain off for that and fucking yes, that's what happens in the
or just
show.
That's
accept that
the
it's a
hive mind
new
thing.
mechanic that's
Yeah.
introduced, and we just have to judge it on its own merit.
Hey, look, I see an article in the chat.
So
Oh no,
it's
are we gonna have
so
to?
I
Just
wanna can let's see. I want
Oh,
Ninja. Can you like actually is it right there?
I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
actually right there under the fucking link.
Yeah, well, hold on. It has the headline: "The Last of Us creators explain that clicker quote unquote hiss," and it opens with a quote.
Oh,
Tanner, can you
Mm.
actually take that away, that little sentence under the hyperlink?
The sentence under the hyperlink.
Yeah, so it
yeah, the
says the
quote.
Last of Us creators, hell, it's all in blue. What's the sentence under that say?
the white part.
If the point, you want me to read that?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
If the point is to spread the fungus, why do they need to be violent? We landed on they don't.
Fuck off. Actually,
That
go
is a
fuck
direct quote.
yourself.
Like I said, I was looking for the quote,
Hold
and
on,
like I
who is it a
remember.
quote from?
I'm going.
Don't
I look at.
specifically.
Hold on. Just give me a
Go
second.
ahead and hit the link. I don't
I'll
want to look at it because I'm like I feel
I'm gonna
dirty.
show the fucking audience. We're like, it's time for all of us to suffer.
Yeah, so that could I don't know if that's 100% the one that I saw, but I do remember that being like a weird thing, and like I remember
Games
seeing that
radar.
quote in there.
I mean, without even looking at the article, I
Mason?
can already tell you that the reason violence spreads it is because, like we've established, all it takes is one bite, one scratch. It's highly infectious. Violence is a very quick, very efficient way to spread that.
Yeah. Basically, you want to get whatever. If you're the fungus and you're operating this dead corpse's fucking nervous system, and you want to get your spores into another body as fast as possible, you're going to move your body as fast as possible, puncture that other body in whatever way is as fast as possible. Just put that shit in there. D-
Oh
Bro,
boy.
how long has zombie shit been around? We figured this shit out.
Can
Like,
Alright,
can I
so
read a quote from Neil Druckmann real quick?
is it the
I'm
we landed on
surprised
this
you didn't.
nightmare fuel?
No, that is from Mason. This is from Neil Druckmann. So quote unquote, this is from Neil Druckmann, the creative director of The Last of Us. Because we're cruel to the
Okay, yeah, it's the
characters we
second
love
quote.
so much, it feels like it feels like she knows she's done for, and then the lighter doesn't work. We take her all the way to the edge of horror before we finally give her an out.
That's creepy as shit.
It's
I'm
very
I don't
sorry,
like
before
that.
you give her what?
And
give her an
out.
Out.
out,
What do they mean by that?
A
That's the
way
giving her
out.
like
opposite
a
of what
Death.
happened.
way
She
to
was
Death.
raped
hop
and
out
then
of her
blew up.
pants.
Yeah, they wanted to
Like,
give her
what
an
the
out by
fuck?
allowing her to actually fucking die.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Oh.
was her out. Death
She
was the
had an
out.
out. Her out was to go out in a blaze of glory, and she had this very weird, fucking uncomfortable, semi-sexual encounter with a mushroom person before she could do it. It's fucking weird, Neil.
Neil, are
Shut
you?
up.
Neil
Like
is
I said,
married,
there are
right?
plenty of examples of this type of body horror working.
and hell, it's even in another zombie fucking media with Resident Evil. That's how the Lost Plaga spread is by going through your fucking mouth.
In Warhammer
Yeah.
40k, it's literally how gene stealer cults become a
Shut the
thing.
everything is in
The-
Warhammer. I don't respect it.
Shut
But
up.
I was just going to the nearest fucking thing with Resident Evil because that's literally what they do. They literally have spread fucking mouths that go right into your other, like right into the victim's mouth. It's like I said, it's they didn't need it, and it feels like it was inserted for no
Personal
reason.
reasons.
Yeah, besides fetish reasons. Like,
That's a
Well, hold
personal
on.
reason.
I've got it. I'll start reading in just a section of the article now, okay? Before she succumbed to the clicker bite she'd fallen victim to earlier on, one winds up getting a little too close before the blast. and extends its tendrils directly into her mouth. Then it
Ugh.
seemingly plants a kiss on her right before she sets the place alight. Now, creators Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann have explained their thinking behind deviation. And from now on, this is all a quote from one or
Craig
both of them.
from Craig
I think
Mazin,
it's from
which
Craig.
yeah,
Okay.
which is
So
I think for clarification, I believe is the in charge of like helping adapt to adapt the show, but like he's supposed to be on par with Neil Druckmann.
So he should have been the last fucking stopgap to prevent Neil's weirdness ending up on screen, and instead he betrayed us all and helped it. Okay, here's his quote. We were doing early research on how fungus appears in reality. I found this image that an artist had created, a fucking
So it
drawing
doesn't fucking
of
matter.
somebody that had become subsumed by fungus, and in their mouth there were mushrooms. Mazin recalled to Variety. We were already talking about tendrils coming out, and because, they saw Resident Evil, fucking hacks. And we were asking these philosophical questions, fucking wankers. Why are infected people violent? If the point is to spread the fungus, why do they need to be violent? I mean, I kind of answered that earlier. We landed on that they don't, because you're stupid. They're violent because we resist. But what if you don't? What does it look like if you just stand perfectly still and let them do this to you? Okay,
This
really
just
not
feels
helping the creep factor
this
here,
just
guys.
like
For
this just
fuck's sake.
that legit gave me fucking like goosebumps. Like
That
that's
is so
like
creepy.
I
ew,
Yeah,
like
and
ew,
here's the it's
like
not creepy
ew.
in a this is a horror
I'm
franchise.
gonna
This is a horror fucking show. It's
I'm gonna
supposed to creep you. It's supposed to give you no. This is creepy in a. I think the writer, the directors, the creative team behind this property have some really kind of fucked up ideas about how sexuality works. If you
Well,
just stand
quote gets
perfectly still
better.
and let them do this to you. Then we landed on this nightmare fuel. It's disturbing and it's violative. Oh my god, they're aware. I think it's very primal in the way it invades your own body. And we're back. Fucking Christ. Um, to use an overused word, it's triggering. It's kind of rapey and invasive, but again, so is being
Oh my
hit with a face
god.
hugger. It's a remarkable combination of Neil's direction, Anna Torv's acting, when there isn't obviously anything there, and our visual effects department doing this gorgeous work to make it all come together and feel really
Gorgeous.
terrible.
So he literally just put it all on Neil. He's like, this is totally Neil Druckmann's idea.
And he did it absolutely fucking expertly. Fair fucking play to him. He's
That
a
is fucking
coward for
great.
not stopping it in the first place, but at least he's not fucking simping so hard he takes a bullet for the guy. Yeah, this is Neil's weirdness. We fucking called it
and
instantly.
and
Yeah, so
because of
this is
Neil's
totally Neil's
weirdness,
weirdness.
it genuinely is just the question of how far is it gonna go. Again, is Bill just gonna fucking rape Joel in the next episode?
Like
Is
once again,
fucking
like I
And the
said this.
very next part of the article is Druckmann saying is like, before we finally give her an out. Because in
mm,
his mind, the the mouth rape by the mushroom man, that is a good thing that happened to her.
Yeah,
It was a nice, peaceful way
it
for her
was
to go.
pivotal. It was pivotal. So
Rather than
like,
the
it's like
actual blaze of glory that would have been a nice, peaceful,
you know what
quick
it is.
death that she actually earned because, she did a good thing.
This is
yeah,
Neil
No, that would have been
Druckmann like
toxic masculinity.
this is Neil
Yeah.
Druckmann looking at Tess as the thing is happening. He's going, "Let it happen."
let it happen. It's like Neil Druckmann was actually.
Uh,
So like they had
Yeah,
to edit they had to, so one of the biggest rumors I've heard about The Last of Us 2 was there's a scene where Abby is, if you look at our Shrek thumbnail, there's a scene where Abby is taken by a male counterpart and is railed thoroughly. The rumor
uh,
was, well, before we get
and
to the
that
rumor,
motherfucker
Neil
basically goes in dry, by the way.
Neil Druckmann said that he based Abby's appearance on an Instagram model that he was really fond of, and the rumor was
Ugh.
that he did the motion capture for the male.
for Owen.
Hold on, wasn't that confirmed?
I
Yeah,
Oh
don't
that
know if it
was.
God.
was. It was confirmed. Like this isn't
Yeah.
bullshit, right?
So we finally got a
So-
Yeah.
shudder out of Sarah from that one. That one creeped you the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like have we
Sure.
finally pushed enough buttons for you to register that this guy is an actual fucking creep?
He's literally fucking his creation. That's such a weird
He put
concept.
his actual sexual fantasy in a game and sold it as art,
And it
and
wasn't
people
even
actually
hot.
bought it.
It's such a
Somebody
weird
get me
thing.
a bucket.
So that's
How about a
so
bullet? I can
that's
get
what
you
like
that.
me and so for Sarah,
That'll
for
work.
reference, and for everybody else, that's what me and Ninja are talking about when we're like, what else is not sacred in the first game? We don't know. We have what, 10 more episodes? How many episodes are there?
No, too many.
Well, and part of the
Probably 10.
wording of that article that's scary is he claims that this is a character he loves and
Oh, lovely.
respects. So
That's
if he's
Truckman
willing
saying
to
that?
do, or Craig Mazin, I don't know because the quotes aren't
Prob-
done really well in the article, but
True.
basically the
Yeah, not.
implication is they they liked this character, hence they made her suffer. But
Mhm.
to me, it's like if you liked this
But that's the
character,
thing. The being fucking mouth fucked by a mushroom person, they don't, at least Neil didn't see that as suffering. He saw that as like a very lovely, nice, peaceful last moment for her
If
to
you
He's a
have.
just if you
He
psychopath.
just
sees it
surrender,
unambiguously as a good
yeah,
thing. That's the
stop fighting
worst
it. Just lay
part.
there and let it happen.
it's
I
literally
do.
the implication.
Ugh.
It's like it's literally accepting the fucking thing coming at you. That's literally what it's implying, is that you should just accept it.
Yeah,
I do
you're
But
have
she
just
to
already,
issue
Where
a
have we
wait,
heard
wait,
that
from a
correction.
normal
before?
person's
hold
perspective, she
on.
already did. She was already at peace with the fact that she was going to go up in flames. Again, her own quote, save who you can. Like, those are her dying words, basically, as far as Joe is concerned, and they are really good dying words. Like, it's a very good torch for Joel to carry on as a character, a very good thing to remember her for. They were doing so well
Tanner,
up
what was
until that
your
moment.
what would your
So,
correction be?
Let Tanner talk.
I have done some extra looking into the Neil doing the motion capture because thinking about it, it doesn't actually make much sense. It was a massive smear campaign that was
Oh,
done.
okay.
The person who actually did the mocap for Owen was Patrick Fugit.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit nicer, I think. I
I
think.
I was
I
going to
love
say
that
like
thumbnail, Ninja. Thank you.
I don't like
God,
that.
Abby's face in that entire game is just so unfortunate.
Yeah.
for everything is unfortunate.
So, what are we thinking for numbers? Do we feel
So we
where
didn't
does
even
it
like
land?
get
'Cause
we
we
didn't
know
even
it was
get to like
super
we didn't even
expensive.
touch like one of the things on my list.
We haven't
Like
even
one of the
touched.
things I was gonna say is how is the acting holding up for our two main boys?
It was fine.
I mean, I
I'm not
liked
convinced either
Ellie
one
a
of them is
lot more in
good.
this.
I feel like
Eh,
Pedro is kind of wearing on me, but like I don't know how I feel about not just because of her unfortunate face, but I don't know how I'm feeling about Bella Ramsey playing Ellie. I feel like it's
okay, I
getting
actually have a
worse.
note about this that will
Okay, go
actually,
Okay.
ahead
because
then.
okay, so one of my big worries about how they were going to adapt Ellie to screen is that they were going to take like she's kind of a sassy fucking teenager, and that's a lot of the banter between her and Joel. In the first game, at least, it comes across like it's
Kind of
endearing, it's charming.
endearing.
Whereas, like, at least in the second game, especially where she's fucking character assassinated, basically turned into an irredeemable bitch who doesn't actually do anything that makes sense. Turning her into like a screen character, I was worried they were going to up the bitchiness and not really offset it. And there's like, I saw the very beginnings of that, but then that scene when they go into the lobby of the hotel, it actually does
Her
this
being
thing where
kind of
you
a
actually
kid.
her being kind of a kid because this is her first time out in the world. She's just really fucking curious and just her imagination is going crazy and she
Seeing
feels safe
shit
at
she's
least
only
right
read
now.
about.
Yeah, and she's like she wants to fucking touch it and fucking explore it and see it. But the second, the actual fucking second that something looks like it might be real, like the fucking she finds a skeleton, it's nothing. No danger, no threat, nothing. But as soon as that happens, she backs up, Joel takes over. She's like, sorry. Like she immediately capitulates and she's just like, okay, yeah, that no, yeah. Once it gets serious, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna do the thing that's intelligent. I'm gonna do the thing that like actually makes sense, and I'm not just gonna carry this bitchiness and make it my entire personality.
That's why I
And you
actually
also see
didn't.
this again later, and this is like why I like the conversation between Joel and Ellie when they're just on their own there for like a minute. Is she has this very kind of hostile, abrasive attitude, but that scene between her and Joel actually makes it super clear that that abrasiveness, that hostility, that bitchiness is directly a response to other people treating her like either a kid or like luggage. The second she's spoken to like an actual person, she will reciprocate that. She will let the thorns down a little bit and she will respond in kind. She actually initiates that conversation. She asks Joel where he's from, trying to open up just like a little bit of dialogue that's not bitchy and hostile. And for a second there, they're actually like going back and forth in a way that's normal and nice. And
Even the
they
sass
kind of,
between them was believable.
yeah, yeah. And it's only when she's being treated like she does like an object or like fucking a child that then she starts hitting back with that fucking same snark, that bitchiness. And as long as that's the metric, when I can very clearly see that this isn't just a bitchy character, that this is a character who has a full spectrum of emotions, but is using her bitchiness to like bite back at
As a
people who are
shield.
treating her like shit. Yeah, that is something that is immediately so much more palatable. It makes so much more sense. It actually helps me understand how she is. And it just straight up makes sense. If you're being treated like a fucking kid and you're a teenager, you respond with hostility. I fucking remember being that.
Yeah.
It's
It's
I
yeah,
why.
remember doing that.
It's why I really. It's why I didn't mind the hotel lobby scene. I actually kind of enjoyed that,
so
and
Yeah,
yeah,
like
even though like from a
I liked.
logic sense they were
it's
being a little bit too
humanizing.
loud, but from a character angle, I do kind of like what it was doing,
And
what
I
it
liked what
set up.
Tess did, where when it's like I'm gonna treat you like an adult, like, and when she's
Yeah.
asking all the questions, because that's if anything, that's what Ellie really wants.
It's
It's
probably
bro,
also
if
helps build on like
any
her.
teenager, that's what they want. Anytime a teen, or if you back when I was a teenager, anytime an adult just fucking leveled with me and just told me how it was, instantly, instantly, I would start respecting them more. Because
And like I
yeah,
said,
as a teenager, you're just super sensitive to being talked down to.
and what I was saying is that it also helps with like her reaction to Tessa's death as well. Like it adds that extra gravitas because like she actually really did care about Tess because Tess was respecting her.
Yeah, yeah. She like I kind of said this towards the very end where Ellie's reaction in that moment as they're walking away from the burning building actually done
Speechless.
really well. It's a really good blaze of glory. It's a really good send off, and you do get like an insight into the characters as they're walking away from it. It's just undercut by a moment of profound weirdness. I don't know that we've ever covered anything that has been so marked, so tainted by one moment,
And
by just
what's
one
10
single thing.
seconds took
and
an
let's not
entire hour
let's
and
not forget.
threw it in the trash.
Sorry. Let's not forget also, this could have been like lead into character development with Ellie because it was her making noise that caused the clicker to freak out.
Yep. We're
Originally,
probably
but it
going
was
to
also
see that
Joel who.
later.
This is another thing I liked as well, where it wasn't just her making mistakes. As they were crawling around the thing,
Oh
Joel,
yeah, Joel stepped on the
like completely
glass.
fine, but it's just like he stepped on just like a single little thing of glass that cracked the wrong way, and it made a noise,
I
and that
like
was
the
enough.
music stopped when that happened too, because there was a
Because it
small
made sure you
quiet
wanted to
music.
fucking hear it.
Yeah,
It went really uncomfortably quiet for just half a second there, and then crunch.
Say what you will about like something like Quiet Place and how it kind of falls apart. Its sound design is fucking amazing.
Yeah, they want you to hear something. You hear it.
This isn't even getting on the fact that, like, this is supposed to be like a talk about 1 and 2. We haven't even talked that much about 1.
As I say, we said what we pretty much needed to say about one with all
Eh,
the early
I kind of
flashbacks stuff.
touched on it where
That's
like a
fair.
lot of the best moments are when they're one to the game, but because it's the setup episode, honestly, we don't have as much to say about it. Like honestly, so far the series just the 2 episodes. 2 is where all of the meat is, for
Mhm.
better and worse.
Shut up, Max.
You fucking
Well, like,
you suspended Evil Dead
Shut
for
up.
this.
You're not my favorite. Slur's my
well,
favorite now.
well, like I said, the idea of doing this is because of like the whole adaptation thing of like a video game and shit like that. Because once again, I still really enjoy video games, and I did enjoy Last of Us. So this is an opportunity to see how this will progress, and unfortunately, this is how it's progressing. And I'm really curious to see what it does and if it changes anything into anything different. I'm gonna try to avoid those spoiler things, but like, man, I'm really fucking worried, and I really want this show to be good. But like, I don't know, it's this weird feeling I have that it's like it's probably not going to be, and I'm just gonna be disappointed.
Well,
But
that's the thing. I
I
started
really want to be
off.
proved wrong.
You remember before we even watched it, I was super fucking pessimistic. Like, you were kind of excited, like, oh no, it might be good. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's watch some trailers, see how you feel then. And the
Yeah,
trailers made it look like it made it look fucking turbo cringe. And I'm like, bro, how many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man? It's gonna be shit. They're
Yeah,
always shit. And I was very pleasantly surprised by the first episode that it was actually okay.
yeah,
And most of this episode, I was like, "Oh my god, this is actually shaping up to be pretty fucking good." And now I'm really worried that that's going to be the trend, where they do a lot of things really well, but every so often there's just this thing, this big fucking unavoidable orb that's gonna consume most of the conversation
it's
about the episode.
it's gonna
That's
be shaped like
really fucking aggravating.
it's gonna be shaped like Neil Druckmann's fucking head.
yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's
I'm even trying to quickly I'm like trying to think of all the stuff that happens to Joel in the first game. I remember when he fell on that rebar, and that's when Ellie
well,
needed to like go find
spoilers.
medicine.
Oh, dude.
I was about to say let's save that because
That's fair.
that is also unironically one of my favorite moments. But that's a meta thing, which I've already
That's
posted my picture on it because that is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Uh huh.
I I can't wait for that to happen.
I'm really curious how. Like I said, there's a lot of beats that like need to be hit. Like the next thing coming up is I believe it's Sam and Henry.
No, Bill is next.
Oh, is Bill next? Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
that's
sure
right. Bill's
Sam and
next.
Henry.
Well, they
Sam.
even
That's
set it up in this episode where Tess
Let's
actually
see.
gives them pretty much the mission to
Mhm.
go to Bill.
yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
That's
I
why
think in
I'm.
the game it's a lot more vague than that. And
it's not
um,
vague. It's more of Joel's like I don't know what else to do. I'm gonna go see fucking. I'm gonna go see fuck. What was his name? What is his name? Bill.
Bill.
Bill,
I'm gonna go see Bill because Bill is fucking crafty and like he can help me like
yeah.
progress.
Nick
What they do in
Offerman,
the
right?
show where it's actually
And
her idea, I think I like that a little bit better.
Bill was
Yeah.
actually one of the first like Bill was gay and they didn't actually like make it like an obvious fucking point.
Oh, was he gay? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there's porn in his little hidey hole. I don't know if
But
they
I
removed
thought
it.
the porn was like literally women because that's the whole joke with
No,
Ellie later.
there's like a whole thing about there's a whole section of just
That's no,
guys.
that's literally what fucking uh she's literally talking about a female porn thing. What are you talking
No,
about?
she's not. No, it's a
She's like,
guy.
how do your legs even get like that?
She's talking about a guy's dick.
Is she?
Yes,
We could
that
literally
scene is it's about a dude, and the
yeah,
pages were sticky, and it's really uncomfortable for Joel because she's asking him all these questions, and he's trying to explain to her without just straight up
Yeah.
explaining to her.
He's like,
and again
Ellie,
they didn't like
that ain't for children.
the point being is that they didn't make it like the soul.
Yeah, it was very subtle. It wasn't the crux
Yeah,
of his character.
I'm worried they're gonna make it the soul of
Oh,
Bill's
absolutely.
character and
He's a
Strap the fucking. He's gonna
massive
be
homo.
fucking Elton John gay.
please don't
It would be kind of funny to see what's his name, Nick Offerman.
Bill Oh, yeah, Nick Offerman.
Offerman. It would be kind of funny to see Nick Offerman do that, but I don't want that for the show.
I mean, Druckmann does, so.
And Druckmann does.
I don't want to go. I don't want to be in Neil Druckmann's mind anymore. Please.
No, we're all gonna be there.
I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild
The
ride.
ride doesn't end.
Careful, you can't say get off around Mr. Druckmann.
Ah, that's
I
how he
don't
gets
like
the fucking
that.
mushroom tongue.
Yeah, you're gonna get the mushroom tendrils.
I'm gonna
let
have
it happen,
nightmares.
Wyatt. Just let it
That's-
happen. Just don't fight back.
Where does this roller coaster end?
I cannot believe in current fucking year you could get away with saying some shit like that. Like, where's the giant wave of people wanting to cancel Druckmann for this?
Because he's on quote unquote the right side. It doesn't
Oh
fucking
yeah,
matter.
so yeah, for,
Dude, what
for
are you saying?
clarification,
Right.
for clarification, you guys are totally right. I didn't realize that, so that's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it is like a man magazine, and she does say, "How does he walk around with that thing?" I
Yeah.
noticed that she said "she," so that's totally on me. My bad. But yeah, that is totally it. I didn't know that. That's
I mean, how
crazy.
does she walk around with that thing? Is basically fucking
Ugh.
Frida Overwatch porn, which basically I can understand why you just absorbed that. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's,
makes
that's
sense.
what I
That tracks.
that's what I could
You
consume.
know,
So
it's
come on.
normal, yeah.
These are things I didn't want to learn about you.
That's
Welcome to Y.A.R.P.
Welcome to Y.A.R.P, where Max is just like,
So, Tanner, I don't think you've realized like, you know that
No, I
Squidward is
figured
just
that one
talking,
out.
and then fucking SpongeBob handcuffs Squidward and himself together. That's what just happened. You're stuck with this. You got to finish The Last of Us with us now.
you're stuck with
Just
it.
let it happen. Just as Neil
It's-
Druckmann said, just let it happen.
It's
I'm gonna
more.
need a
It's,
graphic of me diving into a bush saying you can't take me alive.
it's that I was gonna say it's that thing from The Simpsons where it's like you're stuck here forever.
I do have some good news about your compensation. Is that there is none.
Oh god.
Like, man, there's so many.
I
Oh
think
Which
man,
means you
said
don't have
good
to pay
news.
taxes on it.
what
Yeah,
if like
we are
Sam? What
totally
if,
tax free.
what if Sam and Henry are like lovers? Like, I'm just like trying to think about shit.
Oh
for
yeah,
the
he
future.
see now you're doing it. Like so,
if
Ham and
Sam
Sam and
is-
Henry are just fucking incestuous lovers. Discord just fucking broke again. Tell them to pause the Oh,
Druckmann
there
will
we go.
find you there. That's where the mushrooms grow.
Discord crashed for a split second again.
Damn it, man.
The
Why is it
mushrooms will
doing that?
find you in the bush.
No,
The mushrooms.
please.
Yeah, you dived into a bush, but you didn't realize that there was also mushrooms there.
Yeah, you just like no. It's just the you land in that bush and all you hear is fucking Pippin going mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Why-
I can't wait for the ending where, well, I guess, all right. I don't want to go too far into it, but
I'm
there are
really-
points that need to be hit, and so far this was a big point in the game, and this is what it was hit with. So now I'm worried about every other point later.
I still can't believe, like, for a split second, this got me in the sense of, like, yeah, I heard the clicker noise, and I just went fucking, like, it was like,
Crouch.
Bros.
absolute fucking silence.
Clickers, just as a concept, when
They're
okay,
so fucked.
The Last of Us, when
fucking
it came out, it
terrible.
wasn't
Oh
just
my
the
God.
story, it was also the zombie aspect of the game. It had some really cool ideas. Not just
Yes.
the whole fungus thing, although that was, it was very neat and original.
It's a
But
very
like
unique thing.
clickers themselves are a really good, interesting enemy.
Yeah.
I am, I guess I'm curious as to, like, with the screeching, I always wondered, like, how come the clickers didn't have, like, echolocation?
They do. Like
They
if you're
do.
too
That's
close.
how they move
explicitly
around.
how they have
Like, if you're-
only echolocation. What the fuck do you mean?
If you're too close and they do like this crazy like like thing, they can kind of see you. They
Well,
start
yeah,
moving
that's what.
towards you.
Okay, again, we get into the parts that the show does really well, where they're on the opposite side of like the glass thing,
Yes.
and you can see the thing making the noise, but because of where it is in position to them, it's just getting a flat surface next to it. It's only as it comes around the corner, and the thing that's gonna bounce the sound back right next to it is sort of human shaped. Then we get the trailer shot of it screaming at them.
there was one weird thing where it's like they made the clicker really silent so it could have that creepy like zoom in shot, and I do appreciate the shot because boy oh boy that shot was really uncomfortable. But it was a weird thing where it was like, why is it being so quiet? Like, is it
Yeah, this
just to
thing that literally
scare
has to
us?
make noise to see.
Yeah, is it literally just stopping making noise so it could be like right next to Joel? And they even do the thing where like the camera pans to the right so you can't see it creeping up on Joel.
Well, and not to mention, it's like this thing's noise is like the most creepy, unsettling aspect of the goddamn thing. You'd
Mhm.
think they'd want to use it as much as humanly possible.
Also, the
Yeah.
fact that like the second it
Literally
makes a
possible.
noise, Joel just fucking winces as hard as humanly fucking possible.
Hmm.
I was expecting him to drop a bullet. Like I thought that's how
I
they
was
were going to
expecting him to drop the flashlight, honestly.
Yeah,
You
the
know
way he
how
was
hard
like
it is to hold
shoulder.
it like that?
Yeah, he was like shoulder techniquing
I
the
was
shit, and yeah, it
I
was
was
weird.
I thought he was gonna just flat out and I couldn't get a good look at the platform now. Actually, I could get another look at it now that I'm not showing my screen. I thought he was gonna knock the cabinet over, but
So it seemed. Yeah, there was a lot of like crazy
yeah,
things that they could have
the
done.
cabinet looks like something he could have very easily knocked over.
There is some, I really love and like how they even fucking like closed caption it, is that he's literally telling Ellie they can't see but they can hear. Like
Oh yeah,
like
I was actually
that was
I
awesome. I love that. That was a really
yeah
good shot.
What I like
I
that because
appreciated
they
that.
start off not explaining anything. It's like, okay, Tess and Joel see the mauled corpse, and the second they see that, it's like, we are silent. Like, I would normally
We're not
explain this to you,
quiet.
but we literally can't fucking talk. No talking. I'll explain when we're out of the fucking danger zone.
Yeah, don't ask
You
questions,
know,
just
the
listen to
whole,
us.
yeah, no question. Just shut the fuck up. We're silent.
Yeah, and
And
I
they
love
move
that.
as quietly as they
Not
can.
Yeah.
But as soon as it becomes relevant, he's like, you can see the fucking desperation on his face. Like, they can't
I don't
see, they can hear.
I don't think
Shush.
I don't think closed captions. I don't think I've ever seen them do that where they actually subtitle the like the
Um,
basically the mouthing.
didn't they do that with
Yeah, they
Quiet
do.
Place with the sign language?
No, but
They've
Yeah.
done it
I'm
in a
talking
lot
about
of things where people are like, they're mouthing things very emphatically.
Yeah, they're
I've
saying
seen them
besides,
subtitle
silently.
that before.
Like I said, I really appreciate him saying like we're not quiet, we're silent.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Tanner, I was specifically talking about like the mouth movement, like not the ASL, because of course
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got to subtitle that because what's the percentage of people that actually know that?
Well, I mean,
Probably about the same in us. So 1 in 6 it seems.
it's a very handy skill to know.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
But
Ah,
no, even just like I said, it's mouthing things emphatically. So even though I'm not making noise from my vocal cords, both the person I'm talking to in the scene and the audience are both supposed to be able to pick up what I'm putting down.
Mm,
I
it
laughed
wouldn't
at you,
actually.
Max.
It wouldn't.
yeah,
Yeah, I smiled.
yeah.
No one can see you smile.
No one wants to see me
That's my
smile
secret
anyway.
cap.
No,
I'm
it's
never
like
smiling.
fucking nodding when you're on a call. It's like, oh, are you nodding? I can't see you.
Or like when I call you out for pointing when we're in a Discord call.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know every time I'm positive about something, I'm actually giving two big thumbs up?
Yeah.
It's very important to the points I'm making. Do you not know this?
uh,
Oh, I'm pointing at
uh,
you because I agree. This guy,
you
this guy.
say that, but
Come
I
on.
actually just did that. I was just like, I just pointed at Discord. I was like,
You
this
You're
guy
just
not
gets
fell
it.
for
supposed
it.
to do that. Points.
Um, why I think there has been a time in recent memory where I called you out for trying to point to something for me on Discord, and
Oh
I'm
my
like, I
god,
can't
you
see you
actually
pointing
did
at
it.
it.
That's great.
It's
Yeah,
because,
we should do that.
especially because for some
I'll be like
reason,
this.
if I, I don't know why. If I think I'm wasting words, I'll just point. Like Sarah, you know
And
this.
waste time instead.
If I'm just like, if
Thereby begging,
Yes,
A,
exactly.
wasting more time, and B, begging more words to explain what it is you're doing behind the scenes, and then why you're doing it, and why it's stupid, and then just explaining the thing you needed to explain in the fucking first place.
Yes, I'm always like, use your words.
Yes.
I even tell my dog to use her words. She does it better than you do sometimes.
I like the idea. Use your words. Bark. Okay, I don't even know what that means though.
Like, stop talking about trees.
Translation.
Let's
Hey,
talk more about
leave
mushrooms.
my username
you know
alone.
I don't speak Spanish and English.
No, but he said bark. Trees, lol.
Ha!
I hope you get hit by a bus.
Don't worry.
You
This
get
week,
isekai'd.
this
Fucking
week, don't
kissed by a
worry. I'm
mushroom.
way ahead of you, laying motionless.
Max is hoping he'll get isekai'd in a world where The Last of Us just doesn't exist. Period.
No, I want to go to my dream world I had last night where fucking Bloodborne was real.
Max, isekai yourself.
I'm trying. I'm trying, dude. You think
You
I
need to
want to?
mushroom kiss
You
Mr.
honestly think I
Truckman.
want to be here? Bullshit. I want to go to the fantasy
You're the
world.
reason we're here, though.
I'm gonna
Yes.
piss your bed for this.
You're gonna piss my bed. What?
What?
And that's it. Episode over. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, boys. That was hope. Here's hoping that the next episode won't be that bad. Love you guys. Y'all be safe.
Can't make me.
Fuck off.